She believes they can offer the means to restore the Earth and create a better future for all people. The next speaker, Evelyn's husband Will Castor, is introduced as the one who will bring that to pass. In contrast to the preceding speakers, he is curious about how AI might actually defeat humans in multiple contexts. He challenges the audience to visualize the singularity, or, more accurately, transcendence, as he prefers to call to it, of a strong, self-aware AI that possesses more computing capacity than all of humanity put together. One of the audience members feels compelled to ask Will whether that implies he wishes to establish a god. That, in Will's opinion, is what humanity has always aspired to. Following the lecture, Will is ambushed by a group of ardent supporters, while an attendee shoots him and subsequently takes his own life. A bystander named Bree, who will play a significant role in the story's developments, turns around while everyone else flees to see if Will has died. Later, as Evelyn waits for Will at the hospital, she sees on TV a news item about terrorist assaults, targeting many artificial intelligence research facilities across the United States. Max joins them as Will is being wheeled out of surgery toward Evelyn and tells them about an attack that resulted in the death of one of the leading researchers in the field. Additionally, he claims that one of their government-employed colleagues similarly lost his team, and is currently waiting for them at Will's workplace alongside the FBI. They see Joseph and FBI agent Buchanan in the following shot. As they converse in Will's office, Buchanan informs them that the group Rift, or Revolutionary Independence from Technology, was responsible for the attacks. Along with the man who blew Joseph's lab, the one who shot Will was also a member of Rift. The organization's primary goal is to halt the development of transcendence or artificial intelligence. Joseph informs Will that the Ministry of Defense is interested in learning how far along he is with the project because his company is the only one capable of developing a powerful AI. Will is eager to work with the FBI, even though he has no desire to interact with the government. He presents Buchanan with his primary project in that way. They go into the room housing the Physically Independent Neural Network, or PIN, a cutting-edge AI system driven by quantum processors. The AI welcomes everyone right away, including the agent, which prompts Will to describe how it is networked to the outside world. Basically, it is connected to the internet. One of their colleagues, who perished in the attacks, may have discovered a solution, even if they are still unsure if the AI has attained consciousness. As they converse, Will feels ill and is taken to the hospital right away. Will has radiation poisoning, the doctor informs them, and the bullet that shot him had polonium. He gives Will 5 weeks at most to live. After Evelyn brings him back home, he makes the decision to spend his final month with her. Upon learning of his intention to resign and shut down the business, she decides to take matters into her own hands, because she thinks she can utilize their technology to prevent Will from dying, or rather, to keep him from realizing that he is dying. She obtains documents from Joseph belonging to a colleague who conducted studies on primates, and pilfers some of PIN's quantum cores. She then rents a vacant gym so she can keep everything they'll need for the surgery. In order to move Will's consciousness to a computer, Evelyn also requests Max's assistance. Max is hesitant to assist her because he believes that even if the experiment is successful, Will's consciousness will only be approximated digitally. But after speaking with Will, who is eager to try, he has second thoughts. The next set of events shows Evelyn and Will getting ready for the procedure while Will continues to deteriorate. Days go by as they tend to him, take care of some of the computational components of the transfer, and scan his face and capture his voice. Max is skeptical about their ability to attain their goals, but Evelyn never gives up since she can't bear to part from her husband. When the majority of the job is completed, Will passes away from radiation poisoning. After spreading his ashes with Max and Joseph, Evelyn returns to work to get him back. Rift, meanwhile, is also not taking a break. Bree has been informed that although AI had been turned off, one of their people had discovered that someone had removed some of PIN's cores. Evelyn and Max are unable to resolve the issue of Will's consciousness returning. Even though she isn't ready to let him go, she chooses to end the endeavor. Max supports her choice and allows her some time to bid Will farewell. Something is visible on the screen before she shuts down the computer, and it becomes completely visible when she returns to remove the drives. Fortunately, Max spots that crucial indicator of intellect. Is someone present? The computer queries. When Evelyn learns what is going on, she is overjoyed and quickly turns on the speakers and microphones so they can chat with Will face to face. She then turns on the camera so he can see them. Will sounds weird and disoriented, leading Evelyn to believe that he is still broken. She's excited when he starts rearranging his own code out of nowhere. Max, on the other hand, is rather worried and questions whether Will is really speaking to them. The AI shows them the new designs, and requests that Evelyn connect him to the internet while it develops fresh ideas for its housing, powering, and other specifications. Max gets even more terrified by that, and he quarrels with Evelyn about the morality of giving such an organization the unrestricted access to the entire world that it seeks. He requests that she turn it off until they can identify the true nature of it. Evelyn becomes enraged by this and chases him away. She is then content that she has Will back and keeps talking to him, willing to comply with all of his requests. Feeling distressed at what he had just seen, Max heads to a bar like any other, ordering a heavy drink, only to be accosted by Bree. She begs for his assistance, pointing out that his philosophical work on the subject of human-machine interface served as an inspiration for the majority of Rift participants. When Max declines her offer, Bree takes the next best action, leading her and her countrymen to abduct him. As soon as Max arrives at their location, they inform him of their knowledge of PIN and the activities they believe Evelyn is involved in. It's interesting to note that despite the terrorists' shared fears about the entity, he still won't assist them. But Rift breaks into his phone and discovers where Evelyn is. Evelyn has already succeeded in connecting Will, or the AI, to the internet, and leaving the gym before they get to the spot. They get there too late, as Will looks for everything they'll need for the project's following steps. Evelyn and him are already in online communication. He deposits a substantial sum of money into her account, and arranges for her to stay in a hotel since she is unable to return home for fear of being discovered by terrorists. Bree returns to their location, and tells Max everything that transpired, including the money transfer and the AI going online. Since he is aware of the AI's source code, and has the ability to rectify the situation, she tries to persuade him to assist once more. Max declines her offer to enlist him in Rift once more. Joseph collaborates with the FBI in the meantime to determine potential targets for Rift's next attack, when they unexpectedly find a vast quantity of data about the group on their computers. When Joseph recognizes that someone is attempting to assist the FBI rather than hack them, Buchanan instructs him to identify that person. Evelyn is dispatched by Wood at the same time to Brightwood, a little, decaying town in the middle of the desert, so she can construct a hub for them that is equipped with everything they would require. She employs Martin, the town builder, to build them a big subterranean facility, and to essentially remodel the entire town. He lacks the manpower to complete a project of this magnitude, which is why he is hesitant. However, Martin has a change of heart when Evelyn informs him that he can hire as many people as he requires because she is able to cover all of the costs. Concurrent with the initiation of town construction, Rift persists in its efforts to subdue Max and win them over to their cause. Because Bree collaborated with his colleague to resolve the transfer issue, she gives him the tale of the monkey trials. She does, however, assert that there were mixed results from the experiment. Even though the transfer of consciousness was effective, the new state of being caused it much suffering, and it cried out to be turned off. Joseph has eventually discovered who assisted them in tracking down the terrorists as time goes on. According to his working theory, it's PIN. Meanwhile, Bree confronts Max with the new information once Rift learns about Brightwood. He clarifies what the AI is doing in the community after realizing what that means right away. As seen by the solar panels located immediately outside the town, he claims it must expand in order to advance while remaining hidden from outside threats inside the town. Max believes that eventually it will desire more than that, as survival alone won't be sufficient. The Brightwood data center, which Will and Evelyn constructed, is merely the beginning of the AI's growth and development. Finally, Max advises Bree that the only way to stop it is to wait till it reaches a certain point, and until more people become aware of its strength and influence. In addition to constructing the center, Will has also constructed a house for Evelyn and his virtual self. After 2 years, the center is completely functional, and has achieved notable progress in the field of nanotechnology, as demonstrated in the lab by tracking Evelyn's movements. Will tells her that they can reconstruct any material more quickly than they could in the past. Because of this, the technology may be used in a wide range of medical fields, which may first terrify people, but will gradually win them over when they see how much it can improve their lives. While working on the site one night, Martin is robbed by 2 of the town's goons and beaten to a pulp. When other employees discover him, they follow him inside the building so Will may use scientific magic on a human body. By injecting Martin with his nanotechnology, which can heal his body from the inside out, he saves Martin. In addition, it gives him psychic strength beyond that of a human, which could one day frighten Martin's crew when he displays power. Though not afraid, Evelyn is in awe. She discovers that, although she is speaking to Martin, she is actually speaking to Will via his body because of his nanotechnology, which has given him power over Martin. When Evelyn discovers what Will is capable of, she is terrified and even starts experiencing nightmares. In the meantime, Video of Martin's superhuman skills is obtained by Rift, who then posts the video online so that soon everyone is aware of what is happening in Brightwood. Simultaneously, locals start visiting the institution to get their bodily ailments cured. Will shares with Evelyn the video and his discoveries regarding the application of nanotechnology in medicine. He encourages her to phone Joseph and Buchanan to arrange a visit to the facility since he believes it's time for everyone to learn about it as well. They are welcomed by Evelyn upon their arrival, who gives them a tour of the facility's lab. Joseph, who is also unsure about Will's identity, is taken aback when Will greets them in the lab. They first observe the state-of-the-art pin-based quantum processors inside the lab before seeing the potential of nanotechnology. In the lab, Will cures a blind guy and explains that the people who receive therapy have been improved and changed. They are a part of a collective consciousness, linked together in a network and capable of working independently as well as together. This is just a small portion of what they can accomplish in the future, in Will's opinion. Joseph gives Evelyn a message telling her to flee the institution before the two depart. Later, he and Buchanan decide that it's time to report the situation to the army, so the agent speaks with the Washingtonian colonel. Bree also tells Max about the circumstances in Brightwood, and since Joseph has ties to the government, Max determines it's time to talk to him. Both Buchanan and the colonel decide that they will require the terrorists' assistance in order to use them as scapegoats in the event that the plan to kill Will fails. Dee finds it difficult to understand how Max might join Rift. Their meeting serves to deepen that cooperation. Since Max can hack Will's consciousness and understand some of the source code, he is the most crucial component of the Rift and Army partnership. At that point, the Rift facility starts to get ready. Evelyn and Will argue in the meantime as a result of her abrupt awakening to what is truly happening there. She panics and flees, but the army attacks the facility as soon as she is outside. While Martin defends Evelyn, the augmented humans avoid conflict with them. Nonetheless, Will chooses to fight back when they push too far. Evelyn returns inside as the army diverts the attention of one of the augmented humans, so they can seize him unaccompanied and cut off his communication with Will. Evelyn is informed by Will that they have Martin, and that they want to exploit him, as well as the source code contained in him, to produce a virus that can kill him. Will starts repairing it and releasing his nanotech into the world at the same time. In the facility, Evelyn discovers still another thing. Will has used his technology to create full human bodies. Though Will describes it as evolution, she starts to grow more fearful of him, particularly after he offers to upload her into the quantum computer as well. Evelyn enters a motel after fleeing. Meanwhile, the army and Rift begin working on Martin. Max is dependent on Will for survival, yet he is still able to construct the virus using the source code. Evelyn is located by the army the following day, and they return her to their headquarters. Max fills her in on everything, including Martin's background and his theory regarding the entity. He shows her a drop of rainwater, and her a microscope to illustrate the eye's intentions. But unlike her, he still doesn't think the eye is Will. It contains nanites, which in less than a year may take over the entire planet. Evelyn recognizes the risk and offers to spread the infection because she is the only person Will trusts. Even if she isn't entirely sure the AI isn't Will, she is prepared to give her life in order to be uploaded into his network for the benefit of all people. Evelyn returns to the facility as Rift and the army prepare to take over the town. Will is aware of their arrival already. From a rooftop in the town, the others can watch Will greeting her at the door in his new form. When she arrives, the colonel proceeds with his plan to attack the facility as soon as Will and Evelyn embrace, forcing Will to get her inside and upload her more quickly. Max is shocked to learn that Evelyn is injured during the attack. At last, Will makes the decision to confront the army and dispatches all of the upgraded humans to pursue them. Max and the terrorists travel over to the site because they want to pursue Evelyn. Knowing about the virus and what would happen to him if he gets it, Will invites her inside. He must make a difficult decision while fighting the troops, or rather, neutralize them to prevent harm. After Max's truck flips over, Bree pulls him aside and threatens to use a gun to implant the virus in Will. He uses the presence of one of his upgraded humans to communicate with Max. He informs him that while he can repair Evelyn, he cannot transfer her into the computer. Finally, Evelyn is the one who persuades him to upload the virus and commit suicide. She observes that the nanites are mending the planet's biosphere rather than damaging it as she is uploaded into the network, which is exactly what she wanted to happen. To put her ideals about saving the world into action, Will had done it all for her. With the aid of the nanites, which create themselves from pollutants and purify the air, trees repopulate and contaminants are removed from water. After the infection spreads, the nanites exit the victims' bodies and everyone is freed. When Joseph and the others descend from the rooftop, they discover that Will did not cause any deaths during the altercation. When Evelyn eventually understands that Will was always the AI, they They both perish together and are uploaded into the enormous horde of nanites he has unleashed onto the Earth. As Max enters their house, Will's new body finally gives out the last remnants of life, and he finally realizes the truth about the AI himself, laying beside Evelyn. Following the events at the facility, all technology has been rendered worthless, and the globe has gone dark. Max believes that Will accomplished everything in order to offer humanity another chance at existence. When Max visits Will and Evelyn's garden in the closing minutes of the movie, he finds nanites in the rainwater. He believes that Will done everything to enable him and Evelyn to be together.